The flick opens with the Teletubbies on the day of the virus epidemic, as horrified youngsters watch the Teletubbies as zombies infected with the rage virus swarm inside a home in the Scottish Highlands. After a lot of screaming, biting, and vomiting blood, the sole survivor is a small child named Jimmy who flees to a local church. He seeks refuge at the local church, where he discovers his father, the minister, praying. The lunatic priest views the virus as a sign of the end times, believing that the breakout is the day of judgment. He hands Jimmy a cross necklace and encourages him to go before allowing himself to be overrun by the infected. Suddenly leads them out of the church, enabling Jimmy to flee. The rage virus has been eradicated from continental Europe 28 years after its second breakout, but the British Isles remain under indefinite quarantine. Lindisfarne, a tidal island with a fortified causeway, is home to a surviving community. Jamie, a scavenger, his wife Isla, who suffers from an undiagnosed mental disorder, and their 12-year-old kid, Spike. Jamie prepares Spike for the mainland for a coming-of-age hunting ritual. The entire town wishes Spike well on his travels, including a young woman who shares a wistful gaze with Jamie. Their village leader informs Spike there will be no rescuing once he reaches the mainland, since they have lost a great deal of people. She also slams Jamie for taking Spike out when he was only 12, stating that they generally wait until their children are at least 14 for this occasion. Spike's purpose quickly becomes clear: to kill his first infected victim. Head and heart is the community's motto. Inside the mainland, there was an entirely novel breed of rage-infected humans that had mutated to be terrifying in a completely new way. Basically, they were just fat. Spike lands a precise shot and hits the target's neck, releasing a gruesome arterial spray. While another slow-lo sneaks up behind them, Jamie successfully dispatches it. Later, they uncover a grisly discovery in an abandoned house. Someone has been hanged up by the ankles in one of the rooms, with blood running into a bag wrapped around the victim's skull and letters cut into their body. Letters that appear to spell out Jimmy. Jamie informs Spike that individuals on the mainland are infected before telling him to shoot him. Spike almost shoots the infected, but only after he has wriggled free. They come across a mutilated deer, and Jamie excitedly informs Spike that this implies the fast ones are nearby, aka faster than Usain Bolt. His pleasure quickly turns to terror when they discover a deer's skull and spine caught on a limb high up a tree. He assumed maybe someone as big as King Kong must have placed it there. They will eventually run into a pack of infected commanded by an alpha, a mutated variation of the infected that is larger, more powerful, and significantly more intelligent. Father and son manage to make it back to the house, making it into the attic at the last moment. Jamie says they'll have to spend the night and make it back the next time the tide goes out. Spike spots a fire burning further into the mainland, but Jamie claims he doesn't know who or what it might be. Unfortunately, the home collapses around them. They make it out, but they know the noise will alert the infected. They return to the causeway and discover that the tide is barely low enough for them to cross. They are unaware that the alpha from earlier is pursuing them. Jamie brags about Spike's accomplishment. However, a swarm of frightened birds alerts them of the alpha's approach. They manage to inform the watchtower as they flee, and the village rushes to fire a barrage of arrows at the alpha. The alpha pursues Jamie and Spike across the partially waterlogged causeway before being killed by village sentries with a ballista. During the boozy celebration of Spike's return, he becomes dissatisfied with how his father exaggerates his success on the mainland as people continue to force beer on him. After going out to be sick, he catches his father sneaking away with the woman from earlier and pursues them. After observing them having sex in some ancient fortifications, Spike returns home to check on his mother and discovers family friend Sam watching over the house. Spike discusses the unusual stuff he finds. Sam speculates that the fire may have been started by Dr. Kelson, a former GP. The next day, Spike questions Jamie if Kelson can cure Isla, which irritates Jamie because the villagers fear Kelson, who has been spotted burning bodies in an apparent ritualistic fashion. Spike covertly transports his mom down to the mainland in the hope that Kelson might heal her. Meanwhile, a Swedish Marine, Eric Sundqvist, and his company are forced to land after their patrol boat sinks. Eric and his comrades gets into a foot chase and to avoid a strike by an infected pack. They open fire on the pack, but unfortunately all his comrades get slaughtered as he escapes. Later, he will rescue Spike and Isla from another group of zombies. They look for Kelson but only find a pregnant infected lady, while Isla helps give birth to an uninfected newborn. Eric murders the mother and threatens with killing the potentially infected infant, but the Alpha father strikes and decapitates him. Isla and Spike retreat down the train to avoid Alpha and his big but just as it approaches, Dr. Kelson appears and uses a blow dart to tranquilize it. Kelson appears and defeats the Alpha, whom he has called Samson, with a morphine xylazine dart before leading the group to a temple he built out of the bones of the corpses he burned, which he refers to as a memento mori. Kelson examines Isla and concludes she suffers from terminal cancer. At her request, he incapacitates and euthanizes Spike, telling her that it is a memento amoris, aka Kelson Jack Kevorkian's her. He cremates her body and keeps her skull for his shrine. Kelson delivers Spike Isla's skull, which he hikes to the highest point of the temple and places at the pinnacle, after Samson infiltrated the clearing. Dr. Kelson, Spike, and the infant are forced to flee into a hole, with Spike using tranquilizers to save the doctor. Then Dr. Kelson informs him it's time to go home. Spike goes to Lindisfarne and leaves the uninfected female newborn, called Isla, at the village gate with a message for Jamie revealing her origins and promising to return whenever he is ready. Distressed Jamie rushes onto the causeway but is stopped by a rising flood. In the closing scene, Spike cooks a fish on a spit by the road. An infected gets closer, and he calmly dispatches it with his bow. More arrive, and he attempts to go up the road while knocking them down, but is stopped by a barricade. An adult Jimmy appears, now known as Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, and leads a cult of individuals dressed in matching shell suits and bleached blonde bobs. Jimmy, carrying his father's cross upside down, applauds Spike and volunteers to take over fighting the approaching horde. In a gruesome ceremony, the cult leaps down and kills the infected with a variety of homemade weapons. The final infected is strung up much like the one in the barn. Then they celebrated like something you will see from Captain Ginyu Force from Dragon Ball Z. Spike has been requested to join them, and that ends the story. If you like quick recaps like this, please like, share, and subscribe. It will mean a lot to the channel. Thanks for watching.